Hello, my name is Simon and welcome to the channel. Today is a very special day. As you can see, I have put some flags on my car. It's just turning 5 years. And over those 5 years we have driven more than 75,000 kilometers. And I actually thought, well, this could be a very good time to make a long-term review of the car. It will not be like a very technical approach to the car, but more how was it to live with, what about reliability, fuel efficiency and all that stuff, and I'll just briefly give you an update of my thoughts on the car. But for those of you who don't know it, it is a regular hybrid. And what is that? It's basically a hybrid. You cannot charge the battery like a plug-in. It stores energy as you drive in it. If you roll down a hill or you brake, it will store the energy from that, and you can use it later on when you're driving on in the city or on a parking lots. And you will not even notice actually that it switches to electric, because Toyota has made that so seamless, the transition, you could say, from the combustion engine to the electric motor. And it actually has 2 electric motors, and they also work as generators. They call it MG1 and MG2 motor generator. And if you have driven in other cars which has automatic stop and start, you will actually easily notice when it starts again, because it has that electrical starter which needs to engage with the flywheel, and it's not very seamless. But the Toyota hybrid technology, it is very seamless. It does not have that electrical starter actually, because it's one of the motor generators which is physically connected, and it starts the combustion engine so seamless you cannot even hear it. So yeah, a lot of thoughts I think have went into that before they came up with that idea. And I don't know if you know it, but the Toyota hybrid technology basically is from the middle of the 90s. So it's a rather old technology, even though it has been refined and is now in its 4th or 5th generation. Yeah, it does. Of course, it has a high voltage battery, and it's stored underneath the rear seat, so it does not take up any space at all in the car. It is, I think the English word is estate, so it is a family car, you could say. And what you could say about that, that's, you know, the original design of this Auris came in 2012. And if we're looking at the modern standard of the cars, they are getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and people are driving in big SUVs with a lot of space. And this is not really the case with the Toyota Auris. Yes, in the driver's seat and passenger, it's very well. But when you move on to the rear seat, especially, I'll show you later, we have a child seat in it. There's actually not that much room on the rear seat. And that's basically one of the only, disadvantages about the car. Yeah. To give you an idea of the efficiency of the car, you need to understand our driving behavior. So, and I try to illustrate it in percentage actually, because your driving pattern, you could say, is of course directly relating to your fuel consumption. But I would say that we drive 80% in the city, and 15% just on the normal road, and 5% on the highway or freeway. And actually we do drive a lot where the engine does not get to its, proper temperature, and there you will actually see a bigger consumption as well. But in average, I think this is what people are interested in. Over those 5 years, you could say, what I see is that in the winter time we drive approximately 16-17 kilometers per liter, and in the summertime it's approximately 19. This is of course very much how you behave and how much your driving pattern in general you could say. If we, for instance, take it on a road trip, you can easily do above 20, let's say 22 kilometers. And also in the city, when you have the engine is fully heated and all that, you can easily do 25 or between 20 and 25. Yeah. So enough about that. I will shift the camera position. I'll show you what the interior looks like, and we can talk a little bit about that. All right, I have now moved position, and what is interesting when you make this sort of 5-year assessment is, of course, what does the materials look like? What about the seats? Are the sewings, are they still okay? Are they been worn out? And I simply just have to say, yeah, it does have some spots, but that's not due to Toyota, it's just us. And as you can see, it actually looks quite well. I don't have much to put on it actually. And I would still go that far to say that with the instrument and how it is designed, yes, it's not a completely modern car, but I actually still think it's okay, definitely. Back to the issue, if we could call it that. As you can see, we have a child seat in it, and I don't think there is that much space on the rear. It's difficult for me to illustrate, but this is the biggest drawback of the car in my opinion. It should have had a little smaller boot, you could say, and then a little more space inside. That had been nice, because actually the trunk or the boot is very big. Yes. And after 5 years of use, I still think it looks good. It has not even blown a bulb over those 5 years. Nothing has happened to it at all. I change oil frequently, each 10,000. I'm just showing you the car while I talk. And I have disassembled the brakes 2 times and greased them up and all that during those 75,000. And that's the good thing about the hybrid, that the brakes, they don't get worn out at all, because it has this regeneration braking, where it stores energy during the braking. So it's still the original brakes it's driving on. So it has been extremely cheap to maintain. What also is that even though we have driven quite a lot, as you can see, the finish of everything, it's still very smooth. It does not seem to get hit by stone or get marks. Yeah, not much to point out on the car, absolutely. All right, you have now seen it a little on the inside and on the outside as well. The conclusion could say the main advantages of the car, definitely reliability. Yeah, as I said, not even a bulb has been blown. It's original brakes and it's cheap to maintain, but it is also extremely comfortable to drive in due to this seamless transition between electric motor and a combustion motor. You don't even notice it. And when driving around in the city, it's completely soundless. It doesn't make a noise. Yeah, they sorted it out extremely well. Even though it's not a modern electric car, it is still a very nice car. What you could say is that it's on the freeway, if I should point out something which is not the biggest force, you could say, freeway driving above 130, 40, it can easily do it. It can almost do 200. I tested it multiple times. It can do 160, you can cruise at 170 if you want, but it's not what it's meant for. It's basically, it has a transmission which is different, you could say, from a normal automatic gearbox. And that's also that transmission that makes it very silent and smooth and you don't hear it when it doesn't have much load on, like regular driving. But when you do hit the freeway, you want to go fast, that transmission makes it spin up very high in RPM, and you'll notice it. It will be making more noise. It can do it, but if you're the person who's driving freeway every day, 100 kilometers back and forth to work, perhaps you should consider something else. I hope you like the review, and yeah, thumbs up. It's a great car. Go buy it if you're into it. Take care. Bye bye.